What if the longest blackout of your life turned out to be the brightest thing that ever happened to you? This story shows that the wait can be rewarded. Lagos, July of 1983. The city went dark on a Tuesday evening, and nobody knew yet that the lights would stay gone for 3 full weeks. Adiz Okonkwo was closing her fabric stall in Balogun Market when the bulbs above her flickered and died. She held a bolt of indigo osso oak against her chest and listened. The whole market went quiet at once, the way a room goes quiet when someone walks in carrying bad news. Then the noise came back, louder. Vendors shouting, children laughing, a radio somewhere crackling to life on dying batteries. Adiz locked her stall, tied her wrapper tighter, and started walking home through streets lit only by kerosene lamps and the orange mouths of cooking fires. At the corner of Martin Street and Broad, near the shuttered bakery, she stopped. A man was crouched on the curb with a small black transistor radio pressed to his ear. He was tall and thin, with careful hands and round wire glasses that caught the lamplight. He looked up when she paused, and he tilted the radio toward her without saying a word. The voice on the radio was reading the news. The blackout would last days, maybe longer. Power stations had failed. There were shortages. The currency was unstable. The country was holding its breath. Adiz listened until the report ended. Then she nodded once and walked on. She did not ask his name. He did not ask hers. But the next night, walking home again, she found herself slowing at the same corner. He was already there. The radio was already on. His name was Tunde Adebayo. He was 29 years old, a radio engineer trained in Ibadan, now working at a small repair shop on Lagos Island. He had a quiet voice and a quieter laugh. He told her these things on the third night, when the news ended early and neither of them moved. She told him she was 26. She told him her mother had raised her alone after her father left for Kano and never came back. She told him she could read the quality of cloth with her eyes closed, just by the weight of it in her hands. She did not tell him she was engaged. Chukwuemeka was a good man. Her mother had chosen him. He worked for the Ports Authority and lived in Apapa, and he was away for long stretches on shipping business. The wedding was set for December. Adiz had agreed because agreeing was easier than explaining why her chest felt empty every time she thought about it. She told herself the corner was nothing. Just a radio. Just news. Just a stranger. By the end of the first week, the blackout had become a kind of weather. People adjusted. Shops opened late and closed early. The market ran on shouted prices and trust. And every evening at 7, Adiz walked to the corner of Martin's and Broad, and Tunde was there with his radio, and they stood close enough that their shoulders almost touched while the world told them what had gone wrong that day. They began bringing things. She brought roasted groundnuts wrapped in newspaper. He brought oranges from his aunt's tree in Yaba. One night he brought a second radio, smaller, and pressed it into her hand. He had built it himself, he said, from parts he had saved. So she could hear the news at home too. She held it like it was made of glass. That was the night she almost told him about Chukwuemeka. She opened her mouth and the words rose, and then the news came on and the moment passed. She carried the small radio home and hid it under her bed. In the second week, the rain came. They stood under the bakery's narrow awning, shoulders pressed now, the radio between them. Tunde told her about his mother, who had died when he was 16, and how he had learned to fix radios because his father needed the money and because the work was quiet and the quiet helped. Adiz told him she had always wanted to design fabric, not just sell it. She had drawings at home, patterns she had never shown anyone. He asked if he could see them. She said yes before she remembered to be afraid. She brought the drawings the next night. He looked at each one for a long time under the lamplight. He said they were beautiful. He said it the way a person says something true, without decoration. She felt something shift inside her chest, something that had been locked for a long time, and she understood then that she was in trouble. The revelation came on the 15th night. They were listening to the news when a name caught her ear. A shipping official from the Ports Authority, named in a report about cargo irregularities. The name was not Chukwuemeka's, but the company was his. The route was his. And suddenly Adiz understood why her fiancé had been away so often, why his gifts had grown more lavish in a country growing poorer, why her mother had pushed the match so hard after a quiet visit from Chukwuemeka's uncle last year. Her mother had known. Her mother had traded her daughter's future for a debt forgiven. Adiz stood very still on the corner. Tund noticed. He always noticed. He asked what was wrong, and she told him everything. The engagement. The wedding in December. The man she had never loved and now suspected she had never really known. She waited for Tund to be angry. He was not angry. He was quiet for a long time. Then he said he had suspected something. He said he had seen her hand, the faint mark where a ring had been worn and removed. He had hoped he was wrong. He said he could not ask her to break a promise. He said he would not see her again until she knew what she wanted. He walked away into the dark, and the radio went with him, and Adiz stood on the corner alone for the first time in 15 nights. She did not go to the corner the next evening, or the next. She went home instead and sat with her mother and asked her the question directly. Her mother cried. Her mother admitted it. The debt, the uncle, the arrangement. Adiz listened without shouting. Then she said she would not marry Chukwuemeka. Her mother begged. Her mother warned her about shame, about money, about what people would say. Adiz said she would rather be poor and honest than rich and asleep. She packed a small bag that night. She took her drawings. She took the small radio Tund had built her. She moved into a room above a tailor shop owned by her cousin Ifeoma, who asked no questions and charged almost no rent. She wrote a letter to Chukwuemeka and delivered it herself, in daylight, with her head up. He was colder than she expected, and that told her everything she needed to know. On the 19th night of the blackout, she went back to the corner. Tund was not there. She waited an hour. She waited 2. She walked home with her hands shaking. On the 20th night, she went again. He was not there. She began to understand that a person can disappear in a city this size and never be found if they do not want to be. On the 21st night, the lights came back. All at once, across Lagos, the bulbs flickered and held. People came out into the streets and cheered. Adiz stood at her window above the tailor's shop and watched the city remember itself, and she felt the loss of the dark like a hand pulled from hers. She went to the corner anyway. He was there. He was sitting on the curb with the radio off, because the radio did not matter anymore, because there was nothing to listen for now except each other. She sat down beside him. She told him what she had done. She told him about the room above the tailor's shop, about the letter, about her mother. She told him she had not come back sooner because she had wanted to arrive with her hands clean. He took her hand. He said he had walked past the corner every night, on the other side of the street, just to see if she was there. He said he had been afraid and proud and stupid. He said his name out loud again, the way people do when they want to start over. Tund Adebayo, radio engineer, in love with a woman who designed fabric in secret. They did not marry quickly. They were careful people, both of them, and they had learned what carelessness cost. But within a year, Adiz had her first small line of printed cloth selling in 3 stalls in Balagan Market, with patterns drawn from her old notebooks. Within 2 years, Tund had opened his own repair shop on a quiet street in Yaba. with a back room where she kept her drawings and her dies. They married in a small church in Surulere on a Saturday in the rainy season, with her cousin Iphioma as witness and his father weeping in the front pew. Her mother came too in the end. Forgiveness took longer than love, but it came. And every year on the anniversary of the blackout, Tund and Adiz walked together to the corner of Martins and Broad. They stood under the awning of the old bakery, which had become a chemist's shop, and they listened to the small radio he had built her, the one she had kept all those years. They did not need the news anymore. They listened because the dark had given them to each other, and they wanted to remember what it had sounded like before the lights came back.
Did you enjoy today's story? Stay with me for just a moment. Let me know in the comments, which city are you watching from? Did this message touch you? And if you have ideas for future stories, feel free to share them. Your suggestion could become our next video. Leave a like if this message meant something to you. Subscribe so you don't miss the next videos. If you think someone else would appreciate this message, please share it. And if you'd like to support the channel, take a look at the links in the description. Some are affiliate links, which help us at no extra cost to you. Thank you for being here. See you in the next video.